Welcome back to Ain't America Great Again, the podcast where we try to understand how the richest country in the world can still have all of us Googling what actually is GDP at 6 in the morning. I rarely discuss economics, but here it goes. So I finally figured out why people keep arguing about GDP, national debt, and whether America is broke. Because honestly, those terms sound like they should all mean the same thing, but they absolutely do not. GDP is not how much money America has. That's the first thing. GDP is basically the total value of everything produced and sold in the country over a certain period of time, usually a year. So, haircuts, Amazon packages, concert tickets, doctor visits, construction projects, software subscriptions, coffee, trucking, streaming subscriptions, college tuition, all of it counts. GDP is basically the giant economic scoreboard. It is activity, not savings. So when someone says the US GDP is $24 trillion, that does not mean America has $24 trillion sitting in a vault somewhere. It means America produced about $24 trillion worth of goods and services. Now compare that to national debt. National debt is what the federal government owes. That debt exists because the government spends more money than it collects in taxes, so it borrows money. And this is where people get confused because they think, well, if America is rich, why can't we just pay it off? Because wealth and cash are not the same thing. That's true for people too. Somebody can own a house, a business, a retirement account, a paid off car, and still only have $47 in checking. That person is asset rich but cash poor. Same concept applies to billionaires. People hear Elon Musk is worth hundreds of billions. But that does not mean he has hundreds of billions in cash sitting around. Most of that wealth is tied up in stock ownership and company value. If billionaires tried to sell everything all at once to save America, the stock market would collapse before they even got close. And companies work the same way. A company being worth $500 billion does not mean there's a $500 billion bank account somewhere. A lot of that value is buildings, technology, future earnings, equipment, market confidence, and stock valuation. It's not liquid cash. And honestly, the easiest way to think about all of this is like personal finances. GDP is like your annual income. Debt is your loans and credit cards. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. Liquidity is the actual cash you can immediately spend. Those are all different numbers. And then there's the weird part. Government debt is not exactly like household debt because governments can print currency, raise taxes, borrow more money, and refinance debt for decades. Regular people can't usually do that forever. So America is not broke in the same way a person is broke. But debt still matters because eventually interest payments become enormous. Borrowing gets more expensive and confidence in the system can weaken. So when people argue online about GDP versus debt, most of the time they are accidentally comparing completely different things. One is economic activity, one is money owed, one is wealth, one is cash. And somehow all of us are still pretending we fully understand it while checking our bank accounts before buying a $12 sandwich. And before you go check out Ain't America Great Again online, we've got over 60 products available on Amazon right now, plus more content, discussions, and merch on the website. This has been Ain't America Great Again.